I want to find out what you guys already know about prime numbers. So let's see. If I give you, well, let me ask you, can you give me an example between 1 and 20 of a number that's prime? Jen, you got first crack.
19.
19 will work. Oh, somebody get that. Can somebody give me another example of a prime number between 1 and 20, Evan Gould?
13.
I like it. I like it. Okay. And one more. Coniccii. 7. That'll work. Okay. My next question. You ready? Whoa, look out. My next question. What makes a prime number a prime number? What is the definition of a prime number? You know this little? You sure? Here it comes.
Okay. Definition of a prime number is that no other number goes into that number.
No other number goes into it except for what? And, one and itself. Okay, so for 19, hold on to that for a minute. For 19, the only numbers that are going to go into it is 1 and the number 19, 1 in itself. 13 would be 1 and 13, and 7 would be 1 and 7. What's the opposite of a prime number? This is the one that everybody forgets, because they remember it, they just don't remember what it's called. All right, I'm going with you, Maloney.
Composite.
It's called a composite number. Caitlin, give me an example of a composite number.
18.
Other than 1 and 18, what else goes into it?
9, 2, 6, 3. There's some.
You got it. 6, 3, 9, and 2. You're done. You're good. Okay? And well, 18 and 1 is the given. All you need for a number to be composite is some other numbers got to go into it. And when I say go into it, it's got to go into it evenly. It can't be a remainder. So once you know what other than 1 and 18, if there's another number goes into it, it's automatically composite. Okay? All right, let's play. You ready? You tell me whether the number's prime or composite. Got to raise your hand now. Okay. I'll start you off easy, okay?
Okay.
Raise thy hand. Number 9. Dan.
Composite.
Come up and get a ticket. Yes. Composite. All right. Here we go. Rip one. Well, you got to rip it. Peyton. That was a bad throw.
Yeah.
Pate.
Composite.
What number goes into it other than 1 and 15?
3 and 5.
3 and 5 would work. It's composite. Come get a ticket. Not too hard, not too hard? Okay. Okay, you want to get harder?
Yeah, very hard.
23. Gav. That would be prime. Good. 38. Anna Gaug. Anna, come sit over here for today. Where Barchi sits. Because you wanted to come up further in front anyway. So you might as well. We have an open spot. However, while you're walking, you can respond 38 primer composite. And you would be right. Are you sure? Give me another number that goes into it other than 1 and 38. And here's your hint. Ready? That's all I need. 2 will go into it. 2 will go into it. Get it. Come get a ticket. All right. For this last one, you got to close your eyes. I'm going to put 3 numbers on the board. I'm going to call somebody up, and you got to get all 3 right. If you get all 3 right, you get a 2-run candy. I'm going to put 3 numbers on the board. You got to keep your eyes closed. I'm going to write 3 numbers on the board, and then when I call you up, you got to get them all right in order to get the 2-run candy.
So we can't even see?
When I tell you to open your eyes, you can see. You just can't see right now. I got to write it down first. All right? Are your eyes closed? You better no sneak peeks. All right, open them up. Who's my first victim? So when I call you up, you're either going to put a P or a C. Prime, P for prime, C for composite, put it right next to it. D. Morton, you're first. First crack, my first victim. She's got to get all three right. If she's got at least one wrong, I'm just going to say at least one is wrong, and then we got to let somebody else do it. At least one is wrong. Go have a seat. Contestant number 2. Stretcher, you better get this right. Stretcher's got ants in the pants.
Yes.
Don't do that. At least one is wrong.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go one more, and then I'm going to pull my trump card. Lily. Lil, come on, knock it out of the park. And then if she gets it wrong, which you're not because you're going to get it right, but if she gets it wrong, I'm going with my trump card. I'm going with my number 4 hitter. I got to go with my cleanup hitter.
It's Connor. That's Leo. That guy. Kevin.
Don't let her finish. Lil, don't say anything.
Kevin said it.
Good. It's either P or C. You got to put something down. I had a girl put L this morning. Like L? Come on, kiddo. 3 seconds. 2 seconds.
No.
1 second.
You're
Answer, please. She's gonna crack under pressure. At least one's wrong.
I know.
All right, I'm going with my cleanup hitter. Got to go with the cleanup hitter. Here he comes.
I think I know this.
And then my point will be forthcoming. Okay. The point is, what is the point? I don't know what the point is. The point is, second drawer.
Come on. Kevin said so.
Let him get his candy because then I've got to make a point. Let me pause this because I want to come back to this idea. My point is that I always pick these 3 numbers every year for this because there are numbers that they kind of look like they're prime because they're kind of odd looking, okay? But the whole gist of lesson 17 is you can, using what's called divisibility rules, you will be able to determine very, very quickly what number will go into this. And the number that does happen to go into it is 3. Here's why this is how to figure out whether 3 will work for any number. The rule for 3 is if you add the digits up. How many of you remember this from 5th grade? If you add the digits up, if 3 goes into that sum, then 3 will go into the number. This is what I mean. What's 3 plus 9? Let's just say it. Can 3 go into 12? Therefore, 3 will go into 39. It's composite. 51. Add them up. What do you get? 3 go into 6. Therefore, 51 is divisible by 3. And remember, the rule is, as long as one other number other than 1 in itself go into it, then it's got to be composite. Add up 5 and 7. What do you get?
12.
Can 3 go into 12?
Yeah.
It's divisible by 3. Okay? 57s is always my favorite. And I don't know if this will still work today, but this worked 10 years ago. I used to tell my kids, ketchup is composite. You have any idea what I'm talking about? Ketchup is composite.
I get it. Heinz ketchup, like it says 57 on the bottom.
If anybody has Heinz ketchup in the house, is a 50 because they had 57 varieties at one point, and because 57 is everybody they'll get this on a test. 57 they'll put down prime because it looks prime. Okay, but it's divisible by 3. There's also a rule for 2. Do you know what the rule is for 2? If I give you a number like 128, is it divisible by 2? How do you know? What's the rule for 2? Right, all you need to do is look at the last number. If it's an even number, including 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, 2 will go into it. The rule for 3 is add up the digits, and if 3 goes into it. Here comes the rule for 4, ready? 4 is a little bit more complicated, but still a little bit of a shortcut. When I say rules too, I really mean shortcuts, and I'll give you an example of what I mean. 116. You could figure out whether 116 is divisible by 4 by going the long way around. 4 into 11. 4 into 11. 2 times. That's going to make 8. 4 into 36.
9.
So 4 times 29 will make 116. But the rule for 4 says we don't need to do long division. You know what the rule is?
Yeah, you have to take like the last numbers.
That's it. All you do is you look at the last 2 digits. If 4 can go into it, in this case 16, then the entire number is divisible by 4. It's a shortcut. Okay? Now listen, honestly, you kind of need to know your 4 times tables because some are easier than others. Like if I gave you 912,312, will 4 go into it? Obviously, yes. However, it's just going to make you think a little bit. The answer happens to still be yes, but some kids don't right away see that 4 can go into 84. So that number, you still kind of need to know your 4 times tables all the way to 100, kind of. All right? So it's a little bit trickier, but it's still a shortcut that you can use. 5 is an easy one. What's the rule for 5? Gotta love 5. 5's an easy one. Right. Very simply, if it ends in a 5 or a 0, it's divisible by 5. Izzy, you ready? 1,287,415. Divisible by 5?
Yes.
Why?
The last number and the number enter.
Got it. Come get a ticket. Okay? 6 is also easy, but kids make it harder than it is, and I don't know why. Very simply, for 6 will only work if 2 and 3 work. They both have to work. If one is missing, then 6 cannot work. Here's a for instance. We have to do it for 2 and 3 first. If both work, 6 will work. Will 2 go into this? Why? Anna? No. What's the rule for 2? Don't feel like you need to memorize everything. If you have to go to your rule sheet, go to your rule sheet. The rule for 2 is?
The last number.
Got it. The last number's even. So 2 will work. Will 3 work?
Yep.
Why? What's the rule for 3? Seal?
The last 2 numbers.
Look back at your rule sheet. What's the rule for 3? It's on the front cover, guys. It's one of the rare times where the front cover is a valuable piece of information. What's the rule for 3?
If you add the numbers together, and it's divisible by 2.
Let's do it. What's 3 plus 1 plus 2?
6.
Celie, what's 3 plus 1 plus 2? Will 3 go into 6?
Yeah.
So 3 works. As long as you have 2 and 3, 6 will automatically work, so yes for 6. And by the way, it would also work for 4 too. Just saying. Okay, what about this one? For 6, ready? 2. 152. I want to know whether 6 will work. Don't play the guessing game. Look at your rule sheet. If you're not automatically saying to yourself right now, oh, I got a test for 2 and I got a test for 3, you got to start there first. Tan, you better not let me down. Yes or no for 6?
No,
Why?
because 2 could go into it, but 3 can't because
You got it. Yeah, 2 will work, but 3 won't. Why won't 3 work?
1 plus 5 is 6, and then 6 plus 2 is 8.
When you add the digits up, it makes 8, and 3 can't go into 8. So if it doesn't work for 3, it's not going to work for 6. Okay, top drawer. I owe you. Okay? So that's the rule for 6. There's no shortcut rule for 7 nor 8. That's not to say that there aren't any numbers that is not divisible by 7 or 8. 49 is 7 times 7. Okay? There's just no rule for it. Okay? Same thing with 8. 96. 8 will work because 8 goes into it 12 times. There's just no rule for it. And the last one, or the last 2, the rule for 9 is good. Good.
What if it's a decimal? Then, like, would you take the last place, like the last place value?
Yeah.
Or the one?
If you do decimals, the rules will still work. Just understand, though, a lot of the times your answer will end in a decimal, but you won't have a remainder. Kind of hard to explain, but it does work for decimals.
Like, if you did it with decimals, for 2 it says it's the last digit, so would you do
The very last digit in whatever, the furthest digit to the right. That's a thousandths place, and it's the thousandths place. Okay? The rule for 9. You add all the digits again, like you did with 3, and if 9 can go into it, it's divisible by 9. All right, let me show it to you. I don't want to do that. Add up all the digits. What do you get? Add up all the digits. What do you get? Karen? 18, right? Can 9 go into 18? So this is divisible by 9. Okay? Now, what's also kind of cool about 9 is some kids like to do 9 first. Do you want to know why? Because if it's divisible by 9, it's automatically divisible by 3 also. But not the other way around. If it's divisible by 3, it's not automatic for 9. Here's an example where 3 works, but 9 won't. Ready? Will 3 work? You add up all the digits, what do you get? 3 can go into 6. However, 9 cannot go into 6. So it works for 3, doesn't work for 9. Question? I thought I saw half a hand. We're good? The rule for 10 is easy. It has to end in a 0. Okay? And then I have another tricky one for you. It's not on your sheet. Let's do it together. Let's do all of the rules for 200. Will 2 work? Will 3 work? Will 4 work?
Yeah.
How do you know 4 works? The rule by 4 is, you look at the last 2 digits. If 4 can go into 0, 4 won't work, will it? But in essence, it does, because I'm going to, on your sheet, and it's missing. I want you to add this to your sheet because it's not there. Go to your rule for 4. Forgot to lock this down, I guess. Hold on, I'll get there in a minute. Let me scroll up. Oh, what's going on? You know what? Leave it. Go to 4 for a minute. We did the last 2 digits. What's missing from the sheet, you have to add it, is if the last 2 digits end in 00, 4 will work. Okay, so last 2 digits form a number divisible by 4, or last, you got to squeeze it in there because there's not a whole much room to write. Last 2 digits is 00. That will also work, which is going to take care of 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. What about 1,000? Still yes, even though it ends in 3 digits, the last 2 are still double zero. But you kind of get the gist. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. What about 1,300? It'll work, okay? So they just got to add that to your sheet. All right, so let's take this to exercise 1. Who's my advanced group? Raise your hand. You will notice if you go to exercise 1, your exercise 1, letter A, is not the number 120, is it? I have one thing to say to you. Goodbye.
What? Wait, am I on it? Wait, am I?
Well, if you get stuck, if you look at your cover, some have 17R and some have 17A. If you have 17A, goodbye. Go on the hall and work. You're fine. You should have. You're an A. Okay. For the rest of you, I'm just going to do one example and then I'm going to say goodbye to you too, although some of you will be staying in. Okay. They want us to take the value, the number that's given, and do the divisibility rules check for each of the numbers that we've talked about. Here's how it works. Start with 2. Aileen, does 2 go into this number? If you have to flip back and forth to your rule sheet, please do it. Why? The last number is 0 or even. So 2 works, you put 2 on the line. What about 3? Delaney, will 3 work? Why? When you add all 3 digits up, you get 3. 3 can go into it. 3 will work. What about 4? Anna, what say you?
Yes.
Why?
Because 24.
You got it. Look at the last 2 digits. 4 can go into it. 4 will work. 5's always the easy one. Yes or no? Say it out loud. Ends in a 0, so it'll work. 6 is also an easy one because we have 2 and 3. What about 9? Be careful with this. Jen, will 9 work?
No, because they only add up 3.
Yeah, 9 can't go into 3, but some kids will say yes for 9 because for whatever reason they'll reverse it in their head and say, oh, 9. 3 goes into 9, and they'll put yes for 9. 9 can't go into 3, so we have to say no for 9. What about 10?
Yeah.
Automatic, it ends in a 0. Done. Okay? So you guys are going to work through all of the exercises in your groups. My last piece of advice to you again is don't put down, don't skip numbers because you think it just won't work. Don't play a guessing game with this. Go to your divisibility rule sheet and constantly be flipping back and forth because I'm not expecting you to put it up in your head just yet. I want you to be able to know how to use that reference sheet, okay? And then the last 3 pages tonight is the problem set. Okay? Have fun. Go.